Hi, everybody, and welcome to a brand new series. And this one is dedicated to my 12 favorite live albums. I adore the live medium. And today I'm kicking things off with the legendary Lena Horne and the amazing double live album, Lena Horne, The Lady and Her Music. And what a lady she is, one of the greatest performers of our time. And this album, which she did in her 60s, what is the live capture of the concert, which was on Broadway. So this is considered a Broadway show, for which she won a special Tony Award. When it was given to her, they said that the Tonys sometimes decide to give an award for something that is so outstanding that it's just out of any kind of category. And that is just how impressive and how amazing this concert is. Now, Lena Horne did this concert in 1981, and it ran for 333 performances, but not consecutive. So for about a year and a half, from 81 till end of 82. And it was at the Netherlands Theatre on 41st Street. And Lena Horne says in one of her many monologues in the show, I forgot how ugly 41st Street was. In this show, what is so impressive is not only her voice and her incredible talent, but her acting and comedic talents. She is a genius in delivering. This is stand-up comedy. Joan Rivers is one of my favorite artists as a comedian. Lena Horne is right up there with her. But on top of that, she is stunning. Well, so is Joan Rivers, but she is one hell of a beauty, and she's perfection. Now, you know my love for Diana Ross if you watch these videos, and you know that Lena Horne is one of Miss Ross's inspiration. Definitely Lena, Eartha, Billie Holiday, but Lena Horne, there's so much in both of their characters and their personalities and their traits. But Lena Horne is the base. This is where you start. And I was so touched by all of her music and her incredible voice, but also by everything that she tells about her difficulties in Hollywood, but she turns it into something so funny, and it sometimes is not that funny. So let's dive right into it. She begins the show with the fabulous song From This Moment On. It was a song that was one of her hits when she was on stage as a young artist, and she sang it in a movie called Till the Clouds Roll By. And so it's a song by Cole Porter, and it's a great song to begin a concert with, because it's, from this moment on, you for me, dear, only two for tea, dear. And her arrival is absolutely spectacular, because she is dressed by Giorgio Sanangelo, who is her favorite designer, who was her favorite designer. She also wears one of his gowns on the cover of a new album by Lena Horne, which is an album that came out end of the 70s. And he is the perfect designer for her, because the gowns are just very flowy. It's a jersey, polyester jersey, most of his gowns, and they're very simple. There's a little bit of beading sometimes none. And she adds these huge coats, which are cut like kimonos, big sleeves. So when she moves her arms around, everything just flows and flies, just like on the album cover. Look at this fabulous gown. And it was up for auction after she passed away in 2011 or 2012. There was an auction 1 year after she passed away, and this gown was up for auction. Now, this is the only photo that was shown for publicity shots, for the marquee, for the billboards everywhere. So it really gave you, it was the only image for that one show. Now, then she goes into this beautiful ballad, which is a country song called I Got a Name, an extraordinary song where she begins very slowly and sultry, and explains that, she's very, very touched by nature, and she exists and she's got a name, and then all of a sudden, move on that highway. I intend to keep moving ahead because I ain't gonna let life pass me by. And she is so powerful, and the audience just lets out a scream when she does that, because you really feel as though she's punching you right in the gut. And then she sings I'm Glad There Is You, which is a beautiful, beautiful love song with just the piano, very quiet love song. And then she goes into discuss and talk about her time at the Cotton Club. Now, this is mainly time for her to go and catch her breath. And she only sings one song in this whole medley, which is As Long As I Live, with a young man with a very beautiful voice. There are three singers and dancers who accompany her throughout the show. And then she talks about her time in Hollywood. Now, this is a great song. She sings Where or When, which I love. And at the same time, you have a voice, which is a voiceover that you hear, and it is somebody explaining to her how she has to sing to the camera, sing smaller, not open her mouth so loud when she sings, stand right under her key light, try and look pretty for the camera like Jeanette MacDonald. And this is where you see how they started to try and mold Lena Horne into something different, something that she's not. And the song, little by little, they tell her, you know, wardrobe and makeup, and they change her, and her dancer comes and brings her this beautiful, beautiful fur stole, and she ends, you know, very glamorously. But it's also quite bitter, because she explains how Hollywood was a bit difficult to her, and she always fought with the studios. She sings Can't Help Loving That Man of Mine. And then there's a dialogue where she explains that she sang that song thinking that she was going to be in the musical Showboat, and she didn't get the part, and somebody did get the part, and it was one of her girlfriends. And she said that she had wished they had gone on and given it to Lena Horne, because what they do is lock that actress every day in a small soundproof padded booth, and they play Lena Horne's records that she made when she thought she was going to get the part all day long, and the actress has to practice moving her lips along with the record, so that when she appears to be up there singing on the screen, she will appear to know what the hell she's trying to do, because that's what they used to do in Hollywood. So this is a direct quote from Lena Horne. You know how much I know that album by heart, but it's just so funny. But at the same time, it's always a little bit bitter, because you see Lena Horne was taken out of a lot of things, and she explains that a lot of her roles in Hollywood, she had nothing to do with the entire script. She was just, you know, kneeling against marble a column or mirrors, so that when her movies went to the South, they could cut her part out and no one would notice, because it wasn't a part where she interacted with the other artists, the other actors. So it's really tough to hear that. But at the same time, you know, she explains it in a way, and because this is in the 80s, time passes and you kind of are able to laugh, because, you know, who's on stage now laughing? Lena Horne. Then she goes right into sing Stormy Weather, which is the one song that she's famous for. Now, Lena is going to explain throughout the show that it took her 40 years to get comfortable with that song, because that song was given to her in a movie, but she wasn't really comfortable. After Stormy Weather, she sings the fabulous song, which is Love. You know, love can make your heart go faster. Love can be a pain, and it just goes so fast. And it, you know, Lena Horne has an incredible voice, because it's deep, and it's warm and sultry, and it can be very quiet, and then when it gets powerful, it just goes straight up, and then sometimes it goes really high into the octaves, like in a song that I'll tell you about a little bit later. She then has a bit of a dialogue about a Broadway show that she adored, that she ran for 2 years, which was Jamaica, where she says she has the most beautiful cast of people she's ever seen in her life. And the only reason she got the part is because Yip Harburg had written it for Harry Belafonte. And because there was a talk of a slight resemblance between Harry Belafonte and Lena Horne, she got the part. And she says, I don't care who they wrote it for, I was glad to get it. And so she talks about the cast, which were white, black, Latins, and Ricardo Montalban, and she just loved it. And she sings with the three singers and dancers that accompany her the incredible song Push the Button, and it's sung, it's a kind of dialect. You know, all you do is push the button, from refrigerator comes banana, shortcake, and frozen goose. And it's just fantastic, and the orchestra plays it, and it's very Creole, and it's just amazing, and you understand what Broadway is all about. The following song is the incredible song The Lady is a Tramp. Lena Horne sings it like nobody. Diana Ross has sung that many times. In the 70s, it was always her second song in concert. An amazing song by Rodgers and Hart. And Lena Horne sings the ultimate version to me. It is so her, you know, because it's such a mixture of glamour, intelligence, good taste, and also just being a plain simple girl. So when Lena Horne says, I like the green grass under my shoes, what can I lose? I'm fat, that's that. And she touches her behind. She's hysterical, and she really means it. And she ends that song, the entire building shakes when she finishes with that song. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then she slows the pace down with a beautiful song called Yesterday When I Was Young, Hier Encore by Charles Aznavour, French song, Cocorico. Beautiful song. And she's accompanied only by an electric guitar when she sings it, up until the very end of the song, where the entire orchestra picks up in a very dramatic way, and where Lena Horne says, when I was young, and you can tell that she... does she have regrets? Perhaps, but it's also a way of saying to her audience, because she really preaches to this audience, enjoy life, enjoy being young, and live your life to the fullest. And then she does a song called Did I Do, which I love, and it begins with only drums that are playing, and very softly to her, and she's playing around with the musician, and she's dancing, very tribal and African. She does, and it's unbelievable. A couple of she touches her toes, which actually puts her hands flat on the floor, and her silver heels, and she is pretty amazing. It's very sensual. While she's doing all this crazy dancing, she goes, I hate to exercise all by myself. And she's just absolutely amazing. Again, that mixture of glamour and just, you know, the funny girl. She's hilarious. Then the song Life Goes On, one of my favorite songs. I adore this song. I'm going to cover an album where it's also sung by someone else, and it's just a great song. The orchestra picks up in an unbelievable way, and this is how she ends the first part before the intermission. And she picks up with Watch What Happens, which she says it was her only commercial hit, so she had to sing it, but it's pretty great song. And then the next song that she sings because she likes it, the Surrey with the Fringe on Top. It's very, very cute, very beautiful song. 1900s, you know, the little Surrey with the fringe on top and the carriage and the horses. And it's very, very romantic. And in one of Lena Horne's studio albums called Lena Horne, she sings a song called Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Beautiful song. It's very, very reminiscent. It's the same type of song. This is a barbecue in the South with a polka dot dress and the moonbeams and a couple that fall in love. Then she sings a very new song called Fly. It's a dialogue between a spider and a fly. She's accompanied by her singer dancer, and she just is so sultry. She is the spider who is trying to entice the fly into her web, saying, you know, I haven't spun a single thread since 1968. You have nothing to worry about. But, you know, the fly gets caught, and the spider fought against her nature and she fought against her wish. But of course, you know, a spider being a spider, very beautiful and sexy song. And then she sings a song about an old broad with money who falls in love with a young stud, and it is the classic Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered, beautiful song. Barbra Streisand sang that song, and it's very, very sexy. And this song really is about Lena Horne at the age of 65. This is when she ended the show, who wants the right to be a woman, a free spirit, and a woman who is allowed to love and to live. And this is the way the song is sung. Then she sings A Lady Must Live, and this is even more powerful in the lyrics because she explains, you know, how can love be vicious when everyone knows it's so delicious? Come on, daddy, lay on back and forgive. A lady is entitled to live. And you know, I know this album off by heart. And it's just very, very funny and sexy. It's a short song, and at the end she says, you know, a woman's allowed to live, 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 and she goes so high in these octaves that she sings like a soprano, and she is amazing. And she ends up by get on out there and get yourself some living. And it's just really amazing, and all the energy that this woman has at 65, which is a very young age. The older I get, the younger I think it is. And then she sings a song by Charlie Smalls, who wrote The Wiz, and which is called That's What Miracles Are All About. It's the most modern song, and it is the first time it's ever sung in that ever. It's a world premiere, but she sings it for the first time in that show. And Charlie Smalls, who also wrote the lyrics to Annie. And then comes an incredible part of this concert, which is a 20-minute monologue about her life and career and Hollywood. And it is just hysterical. She explains how she went up to Hollywood, how the moguls who liked her but who didn't know what to do with her, and so they got Max Factor to create a makeup especially for her, and they called it Light Egyptian, so you can understand what it meant. And it's very funny, but it's kind of heart-wrenching because you understand what was done to some of these artists in order for them to appeal to the masses. And she explains that they took her Light Egyptian that they created especially for Lena Horne, and they put it all over Ava Gardner, and they gave Ava Gardner her part in Showboat. And when you see Ava Gardner in Showboat, which is a little bit ridiculous, even though Lena Horne and Ava were very good friends. Then they put that makeup on Hedy Lamarr, and I don't know if you know Hedy Lamarr, was famous Viennese and very famous Hollywood actress, absolutely beautiful woman with green eyes, and also a genius. She invented a type of frequency, which is what is used today in the modern internet. We have internet thanks to Hedy Lamarr. brilliant woman, but certainly not apt to play a black girl in a movie called White Cargo. As Lena Horne puts it, there she was walking around in My Light Egyptian, and the movie, Lena Horne says, was on Channel 9 3 weeks ago, 1:30 in the morning, and there was Hedy Lamarr walking around in My Light Egyptian. And so it is very funny, but it's also really makes you think on how incredible these women were, these pioneers who really made it easier for so many artists that followed. And in their time, it was a constant battle. And for Lena Horne, this is why this is her swan song, but she deserves absolutely all of the praise that is given, and she was given the Tony Award for this show, a special Tony Award, and she rightly deserves it. After that, she sings the very funny, I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter. I'm going to make believe it came from you. And it is just very, very funny. And Lena Horne adds some ad lib in it, saying that, you know, she's very upset with this man who left her, and she thinks he's a dog. And she ends the show by saying, I'm going to outdo Diana Ross and Cheryl Tiegs and Cher and Farrah Fawcett Major and all the soap opera queens you'd have ever seen. And she ends with Stormy Weather, that she sings for the second time in the show in the most magnificent way. And she explains how it took her 40 years to finally be able to sing it and mean it. This song was not meant for her. This is a song that was a hit by Ethel Waters, but it was given to Lena Horne in a movie, and she says that she's linked to it for no matter what reason, but now she accepts it. And then she ends with the beautiful song If You Believe, written by Charlie Smalls, again from The Wiz, in which she was the Good Witch in the movie version with Diana Ross. And this ends this incredible concert that you must listen to and that you can watch now thanks to YouTube. And I know I was a bit long, but this is such an amazing album and a piece of history and civil rights as well. So I hope you give it a listen, and you give all your love to Lena Horne, and I will see you next Sunday. And today we are June 30th, and of course I did not do this on purpose, but it is Lena Horne's birthday, and this concert was recorded for the very last time on June 30th on her 65th birthday. And so there's a bit of Lena Horne magic in the air, and she is definitely watching over us. So listen to Lena Horne and give her your love, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye bye.